a profile with somebody daughter. I like you, but I hate the love. Hey, yeah, you should know I'm a Bahamian from the Bahamas. It's the place you vacation.
This is your boy TIMMAY. It's a special edition of WHODAT. We have, and it's my pronounce right, Nakhaz. That's how I pronounce it.
Yes, sir, Nakhaz.
So the first time I heard about you, it was on Twitter, and you had a tweet go viral. I think it was the "Ain't No Sunshine" spoken word. So talk to me about that before we get back in this. Talk to me about that specific spoken word.
All right, so it was a time when I was living in the Bahamas, 2015. I took a break from school, and they had a poetry competition going on, and I had like tons of poems, but I felt like I honestly felt like people would have thought I was cheating or like I plagiarized these poems because of like, in my personal opinion, how good the poems were. So I said, for this specific competition, I'm gonna write something very unique to the Bahamas so that it's undeniable that this is coming from me, 2015, I end up entering the poetry competition and I end up winning. And, it was good. A year later, I returned to school and I say, man, I gotta give this to my American people, let them hear it. I do it, and I got such a good crowd reaction. I uploaded it on Facebook, and like the first day, like 20,000 views on Facebook. By the end of that week, 50,000 views on Facebook. Like, it's an influx of people writing me messages out of me and all type of stuff. And I was like, man, that's my first viral moment ever. You feel me? And even a year later, maybe like 2017, it dawned on me, bro, you should post this on Twitter. You understand? I posted on Twitter the same reaction. It was on a lesser magnitude, of course, but every time, I feel like when you have good quality content, like it's gonna jump off the shelf anytime. You feel me? And I felt like that message that I shared was something very real and something that I was really going through during my time living back home.
And this shows you how content. I can't remember the song name. But this guy was working on the song for 6 years and he gave up. And it was I'll come to me, but 6 years ago after you wrote that song, it gave him one hit. So it just shows you the content lasts forever. So let's go back in time. What prompted you? What made you get that feeling? I want to start writing. Like let me put pen and paper because that's not the easy thing to do.
Yeah. So I used to rap all through high school, and I feel like I was above average, but in my mind, my perception of the media was that you can't make it, especially not in the Bahamas, So I ended up stopped doing it. I was going through a lot of like self-reflection, and the content of my music, it was not pleasing to me and my mom. She had a big issue with what I was talking about because it was in my life. You know what I mean? I was talking about killing and all type of stuff. So I just take a step back from the music. I go off to school, and the first day at orientation, this guy did a poem. And like everybody was going crazy, but I couldn't even really enjoy the poem because I felt very jealous. I felt like, bro, there's something that you could do. It was something within me that I just felt like, bro, you should be doing this. So I get to writing, and eventually I started doing the poetry. But if I could even go back a step further, I didn't know I had the ability to write, but when I was in the 12th grade at Faith Temple, I entered JA speech competition. Never did a speech in my life. I came first in Nassau. I came second for the whole Bahamas.
What brought you to join the speech competition?
It was this guy, my boy Nario. He took pride in speeches. He had placed every year, but he never came first. And this was our senior year, and he was like, bro, I'm about to come first. He just kept talking. I'm like, what the heck? I'll just try it. You know what I mean? I'll just try it. I end up trying it and winning it. And that was the first time I realized that like I have something that is good. You understand? I have a
Your boy was bugged though.
He's bugged, and I stay getting off on him for that. Because like it meant a lot to him, but it didn't mean anything to me. You feel me? So that's another good experience. But ultimately it led a path for me to actually use my voice, and to use my writing skills.
So even though you said you didn't know you could rap, but I'm sure as a hip hop fan growing up, you had certain artists that you naturally cling to. So who maybe Bahamian and international, who you idolized or listened to most as a young youth?
Honestly, the guy who I admired the most as a child was Tupac. You feel me? And it speaks a lot to like just being from Nassau and just being on the road and just the knowledge that he gave. You know what I'm saying? As I got older, Drake became my guy, but even in between there was Lil Wayne. It was always someone who had lyrical content, but was always very entertaining, In terms of Bahamians, it's a long list, you understand? Because I love Bahamian music, like I always did. But one thing that I love the most about artists in general is your uniqueness or your individuality. I'll just shout out a couple people. Judah the Lion. When I heard "Let Me Show You a Vibe," remember what I saying? Drake is my guy. You feel me? He did it on a Drake beat.
Yeah.
And he made it very Bahamian.
That was headlines.
Bro, what headlines? Yeah, and bro, I ain't gonna lie, that tripped me out bad, bro. That tripped me out bad because it opened my eye to say, bro, you could put Bahamian content in your music, bro, and it'll go. Because that had views. You feel me? I'm part of the poet. Like Daddy writes, I'm from the 242. Like, just to name a few people, like these are people I admire. But even to go back out of hip hop, like Phil Stubbs, you know what I mean? That's my favorite Bahamian artist of all time, just being real. Like, just growing up, just listening to his music, it made me feel good, it made me feel happy. And that's what I try to do on my music too, you know?
So it feels like you always got gaps. So you said you did the poetry, the contest first in 2015. Then you didn't really catch it, but I saw it on Twitter in 2017. And then you had a song I really love, I Need Your Love. Talk to me about that track.
Yeah, bro. I feel like I was very inspired when I made that song. I was hesitant to make like Caribbean style of music, especially not Afrobeat, because I'm like, I don't know how people can receive it. You know what I mean? Like, this could change my whole perception.
You picked the perfect time to do it because as you can see, it's now rising. That's the wave right now.
Exactly. So, but I was like, bro, there's such a chance. When I started making music again officially in 2017, 2018, it was hard for me because I wanted to do stuff that was vibey, right? But I knew everybody expected lyrical content from me. So I was in a conflict, you understand? But it's just natural in me to create a vibe. You know what I mean? Whether it's be lyrics or like sonically, I want to create the vibe. So when I heard that beat, the Afro beat, I'm like, bro, Kaz, you got to do it. You got to take a chance, but you still got to make it Bahamian. You still got to include your Bahamian vernacular. That's why even if you listen to the ad-libs, I say, and that's a vibe and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so, just to be honest, I felt like that was going to go to the moon and back. But to your point of the guy who waited 6 years for his song to be number one, I still feel like people may retroactively listen to my earlier stuff as more content comes out. You know?
As I was listening to this song, and they actually had it as a same vein. It's like when you play your video, they have a toast. So it's like YouTubers are starting to group that song with the Afrobeat songs. And you said something I really want you to ask back on because I have this discussion a lot of times with other artists. You know, people expect you to pause, introspective, but you know in your heart the type of music you want to make. Talking about that decision, you sat down, look yourself in the mirror and say, I know what the people want, but this is what I want to do. Did you have any fear of getting maybe losing fans or?
The fans, the fear always there, especially if you feel like you're a perfectionist. You're gonna create your own fear. The fear might not even be real, but you're gonna create that fear. I actually go on a spiritual journey, a creative journey every time I start writing in bulk. So music, poetry, all of that. I'm always meditating before I write, and a part of that is to not critique myself or others. I don't critique anybody when I'm going through this journey. So I try to get out trash or good. Like trash, the concept of something being trash or good is eliminated from my mind. And everything that I like, I just lock in and I go forward with it. So I don't tell myself that it's trash. I don't tell myself that it's good. I tell myself that I like it. You feel me? And so since I like that song, Your Love, I convince myself to go forward and push with it, you know? And yeah, that's just something that I do.
So everyone who's watching, I know what you're really here for. Ize A Bahamian. I sorry it took so long. So Independence Day just passed. So I'm going viral. Where I hear on the radio, I see them people now talk to me about making that song, and trust me, I love that. I love that, and it sounds like by Ize A Bahamian. You put terms that people would know our age, younger, older, going to Marina Village, going to the beach. You ain't going to water. You just want you just hang with the gal.
You know what I mean? Just want to hang out with gals. So that's all it is, really and truly. But when I started making music officially, right, I told myself that the thing that would set me apart from people in the world is that I'm going to be Bahamian. You understand? I don't know if we have like a super mainstream Bahamian artist that changed the world, but I wish to be that. You know, so every song that I make, I want to make a Bahamian anthem every single time. You know, but it was one time particularly when I told myself, bro, you have to make something comparable to Welcome to Jamrock, Amazon, Welcome to Atlanta, all these things that rap your hood or your country. You have to make something like that for the Bahamas. And when I listened to the beat once again, I heard the trumpets. It resembled John Canoe to me, and I said, bro, this is it, bro. This is, you gotta let people know who you are and where you from, bro, for real.
Because girl, why? Ize A Bahamian.
Ize A Bahamian, bro.
I literally randomly be singing that song throughout the day for no reason. Like, oh, we're gonna tired of me now. I just say, because why? And he's just like, Ize A Bahamian.
And that's what I like. You know what I mean? That's another thing what I like, bro. So I felt like once I got the hook out of the way, The I'm a Bahamian, I got that point across. I say, let me tell you why. Because this is what I like, bro. You understand? And it's stuff specific to the Bahamas, you know? I feel like sometimes when we try to group ourselves with just the Caribbean under that one umbrella, sometimes we dilute our own culture because we're trying to do it in the name of Caribbean. But sometimes we need to also be specific to the Bahamas so that we can advance our culture and to really spread awareness of that. And I don't know, bro. That's really, really, really my main objective, and that's what prompted me to even make the song. You know what I mean? For the country, bro.
So the year about to end, we go into next year. Just talk to me because I as the baby ain't do nothing yet. I feel like you have so much to do with this song. But what personally, career wise, what you trying to achieve? Like say the next year or so.
The next year, so I honestly want to have like 3 EPs out by next year. I have tons of songs, bro, but it's timing. Timing is the thing that prevents me. I anticipate on dropping my first EP entitled "Watch the Road," and in the last week of October, probably around October 25th. You know, I want to shoot more videos. You feel me? And ultimately, I want to be on a tour of some sort. Maybe I headline for somebody bigger, or maybe I'm on my own tour, bro. But in the next year, I just want it to be the year of content, bro. Just content from Nakhaz, you feel me? So people can really understand who I am as an artist and really just get to know me better as a person.
Last season, people know where they can find you online, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Just so it's going to hear you, buy your music, stream it, share with your friends. That's where they can find you.
All right, so my name is Nakhaz. That's Nakhaz. It's important to put the K before the H, right? All of my social media, with the exception of Instagram, is Nakhaz. Nakhaz. If you want to find me on Apple Music, Nakhaz. Spotify, YouTube, all streaming platforms, Nakhaz. Now, if you want to find me on Instagram, my name is Kamikaze. That's Kamakazzy. And that's everything.
This is Nakhaz and Ize A Bahamian. This is TIMMAY and WHODAT.
Baby, tell me what's going on. I know you're expecting me to know it all, but you're telling me you fell in love, oh yeah, just to throw me off. Keep it moving like a bowling ball, keep your mouth closed when you lie, I ain't running on. Tell me lie after lie, then another one, then got surprised when I never ever come around while you are clueless.